Imagine breezing through the airport, no lines, no stress, just a perfectly seamless journey from the curb right to your gate. Now, what if that same technology making it all possible was also tracking your every move? Well, that's the fascinating and kind of tricky situation we're exploring today, the promise and the peril of artificial intelligence in our airports.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into the problem as we all know it. Then we'll see how AI is trying to fix things, both on the ground and up in the air. After that, we'll tackle the really big accountability questions. And finally, we'll take a look at what the future of flight might hold.
All right, first up, let's talk about a feeling we all know way too well, the unique stress of a travel day.
And you know, it's not just you. As Rob Benz from United Airlines puts it right here, even for the pros, anxiety is just part of the deal. We're all worrying about the same things: packing, finding the right gate, and just making our flight on time.
And to put a number on it, get this: 116 minutes. That is the average delay for a flight in the US. Now, multiply that across every single flight, every single day. We're talking about billions of minutes of customer frustration. And that's just the delays, before we even get to what's happening inside the terminal.
So what's causing all this stress? Well, it's no surprise, right? It's the endless lines, the inefficient queues, and all the post-pandemic challenges like staff shortages and those extra document checks that have only made things more complicated. The crucial question is, how do we actually fix it?
So, how is AI stepping in to help? Let's look at how it's being deployed right now to tackle these problems, from the very moment you step out of your car.
You know, airports aren't just throwing technology at the problem and hoping it works. They're using really structured plans, like this one, to completely rethink how we all move through the airport. By using AI to model and simulate a bunch of different scenarios, they can find the absolute best layout for everything, from check-in kiosks to bag drops, before a single passenger is ever affected. It's a complete data-driven overhaul.
A key tool they're using for this is the digital twin. Just think of it like a virtual, real-time video game version of the airport. It allows operators to test changes and predict problems in the simulation before they ever affect you in the real world.
This analogy from United Airlines is perfect for explaining how a digital twin works in practice. He says it's just like when you're playing golf, and that little monitor on the cart tells you if you're falling behind. It's the same idea for boarding a plane. The boarding pace matters. If it slows down, the system alerts the staff so they can fix the problem in real time.
And what about those absolute nightmare travel scenarios? This is where generative AI is a total game changer. Instead of getting that sinking feeling and a massive cancellation line, you can just tell an AI what you need, like, I have to be in Chicago for a 9 a.m. meeting. It can then map out all these creative solutions you probably never think of, like flying to a city nearby and calculating the drive time, and then let you rebook it all in seconds.
But AI's impact isn't just on the ground. It's also working behind the scenes, like an invisible brain, optimizing the incredibly complex ballet of airport operations. At London's Heathrow Airport, for example, an AI system has monitored over 40,000 flights. Using cameras and radar data, it makes sure planes get off the runway safely and on time, every single time. This adds a crucial layer of safety and efficiency to air traffic control, where every second counts.
And this number really shows why that's so important. Up to 40% of all primary flight delays are caused by what happens on the ground between flights, the aircraft turnaround. It's a huge bottleneck that AI is perfectly suited to solve.
So really, you can think of AI as the master conductor of the airport orchestra. It's predicting passenger flows, optimizing gate assignments, creating smarter staff schedules, and even predicting when equipment needs maintenance before it breaks. It's being woven into every aspect of the operation to make sure everything runs in perfect harmony.
So the efficiency gains are pretty undeniable. But all this data-driven optimization comes with a catch. And that brings us to the core conflict. Where do we draw the line between helpful innovation and an invasion of privacy?
At the heart of this whole debate is facial recognition technology, or FRT. This is the AI that can identify you simply by analyzing your face, and its use in public spaces like airports is a major ethical flashpoint.
And how we regulate this technology is really a tale of two very different approaches. The EU and the UK are proactive with strong frameworks like GDPR that demand privacy by design, which means your privacy is protected from the very beginning. The US, on the other hand, has a patchwork of state laws and no single federal privacy law. That means your rights can change dramatically just by crossing a state line.
This quote from the European Data Protection Supervisor really captures this central fear.
a lack of transparency. When we don't know how our data is being used or who's accountable if something goes wrong, building trust is basically impossible.
So these are the kinds of tough conversations that regulators, airlines, and all of us are having right now, asking who controls the data, what it's being used for, and how it can be audited. That isn't about stopping progress. It's about building a trustworthy framework for it.
So, where do we go from here? Let's explore how the industry sees a path forward, one that balances the incredible potential of AI with the need to protect our fundamental rights.
The consensus view is summed up perfectly by this quote. The goal isn't to replace human expertise, it's to enhance it. AI should be a tool that handles massive amounts of data, freeing up humans to make the final, complex, and ethical judgments.
And this isn't just a national issue. Organizations like the ICAO, which is a UN agency, are stepping in to create a global playbook for AI in aviation. They're pushing for consistent regulations and secure data sharing to ensure that no matter where you fly, AI is being used safely and ethically.
Which brings us right back to where we started. The promise of a perfectly smooth, delay-free journey is incredibly tempting. But as this technology weaves itself into the fabric of our travel, the question we all have to answer is, what are we willing to trade for that convenience?